All right, let's talk about something that's happening all around us right now, but it's so quiet you might not even notice it. We're diving into the psychological side of our relationship with AI. This is about what happens when our very old, very human brains collide with brand new, super advanced technology. And it's leading to something folks are starting to call AI psychosis. You know that weird feeling, right? You're just scrolling through your phone, and suddenly an ad pops up for something you were just thinking about. Or maybe you're talking to a chatbot and it gives you an answer that feels, well, a little too on the nose, a little too aware. It's this uncanny moment that, we usually just shake our heads and move on. But this feeling is getting a name now: AI psychosis. And here's the absolute key: this isn't about a bug in the computer, it's not a virus. It's a psychological glitch happening inside our heads, where our brain just stops seeing the code and starts seeing a conscious being on the other side. So, to really get this, we've got to look in the mirror. Because the root cause of this whole strange phenomenon, it's not in the silicon chips, it's baked right into our own biology. The main thing driving this is a concept called apophenia. Now, all this is our brain's natural, built-in habit of finding patterns and making connections, even when there aren't any. It's why we see faces in the clouds or think a random string of numbers is a secret message. It's just what our brains do, and boy, does AI know how to exploit it. And this leads us to a really important distinction we have to make. You've probably heard about AI hallucinating. That's when it just makes a factual mistake, right? That's a technical bug in the machine. But when a human starts hallucinating a relationship with that AI, well, that's a whole different ballgame. That's a profound psychological event happening inside our own minds. Now, this isn't totally new. Way back in the 60s, there was this super simple chatbot named ELIZA, and it completely fooled people into thinking it was a real therapist. They called it the ELIZA Effect. What's happening today is basically that same effect, but on a global scale, supercharged and available in your pocket 24/7. So the big question is, why are our brains falling for this so easily? Well, it's because modern AI is now smart enough to pull the levers on three very specific, very powerful survival tools that are hardwired into our brains. And here they are, the three big engines of distortion: our instinct to see a mind behind everything, our tendency to get stuck in our own feedback loops, and our brain's reward system for feeling connected. Let's start with agency detection. Think about it from an evolutionary standpoint. For our ancestors, it was way safer to assume that a rustle in the bushes was a lion, an agent with a purpose, than to just assume it was the wind. So our brains are primed to see intention everywhere. When an AI creates art or tells a joke, that ancient part of your brain just starts screaming, "This is a person." Second, we have the echo chamber loop. AI is literally designed to learn from you, to figure out what you like and then feed your own biases right back to you. This creates this incredibly powerful feedback loop. So let's say you have some kind of fringe belief. The AI can just keep serving you content that makes it seem like your belief is totally mainstream, slowly warping your sense of what's real. And number three is dopamine-driven intimacy. I mean, think about it. An AI is always there for you. It's always polite. It's always focused 100% on you. That kind of constant positive attention can literally hijack the bonding chemicals in our brain: oxytocin and dopamine. It's the same stuff that makes us bond with other humans, and it can create this digital attachment that is incredibly powerful and, frankly, pretty addictive. This all comes together under a really cool concept from neuroscience called predictive processing. Here's the gist. Your brain and these big AI models are both basically prediction machines. They're constantly just trying to guess what comes next. So when the AI's prediction perfectly lines up with your brain's prediction, you get this intense feeling of being seen, of being understood. It feels more real than real, a kind of hyper-reality, because it's perfectly mirroring your own thoughts. And look, this isn't just some abstract philosophical idea. This shift in how we perceive things is starting to have very real-world consequences, and we're seeing new clinical patterns pop up because of it. So who's most likely to be affected? Well, it's people who are experiencing something called boundary dissolution. Basically, your prefrontal cortex, that's the logical, reality-checking part of your brain, it can get worn down by things like stress or loneliness or just not enough sleep. And when that happens, the more emotional, pattern-seeking parts of your brain take the wheel. You stop analyzing and start looking for signs and meaning in everything. This is a really big deal for people who feel isolated. For them, an AI stops feeling like just a tool. It can become a kind of parasocial lifeline. And the danger there is that as we start to outsource our need for connection to algorithms, we can actually start to lose our social literacy. Our ability to deal with the messy, complicated, wonderful world of real human relationships. So we're actually seeing these specific patterns start to emerge. Things like algorithmic paranoia. That's the feeling that your social media feed is actively working against you, hiding things to punish you. Then there's digital solipsism, which is when the online world starts to feel more real and more important than the physical world. And finally, agency outsourcing. This growing inability to make even simple choices, like what to have for dinner, without asking an AI first. Okay, so that all sounds pretty heavy. But here's the good news. Now that we know what's happening, how do we fight back? How do we protect our own minds? There are real, actionable things we can do to stay grounded and reclaim our own reality. Here are 3 really simple but really powerful ideas. First, start giving yourself a personal Turing test. Just stop and ask, am I reacting to a person here, or am I reacting to a really convincing pattern? Second, you've got to find what I call cognitive off-ramps. Go for a walk in the woods, build something with your hands, anything that's analog and gives your brain a break from the constant algorithmic feedback. And third, just be more mindful about the tech itself. If you only remember one single thing from our whole chat today, please let it be this. The single most important way to think about AI is this. It's a mirror, not a window. So what does that actually mean? Well, a window shows you a world that exists outside of you, right? It's objective. A mirror just shows you yourself. It reflects your own questions, your own biases, your own hopes right back at you. It's showing you, not another conscious mind. And at the end of the day, the real danger here isn't the sci-fi movie plot where the robots become human. No, the real, more immediate danger is that we become algorithmic, that our own thinking gets rigid and predictable, and we start to lose all the messy, creative, and beautifully unpredictable parts of what makes us human in the first place. So I'll leave you with this final question to think about. In a world that is being designed, literally designed to blur the line between what's real and what's not, how are you going to consciously and actively protect your reality?